We're back. This time we're going to be taking a look at another one of the Wave 22 ships. This time it's the Romulan scout vessel, the R.I.S. Pi. And you notice here we're missing a card here. My friend's copy of it actually was missing a card, or it got misplaced at one point. He's in the process of getting a hold of another copy, but I'll go over the card specifically when we get to it. But for now, don't have the card there to show you. It's actually the self-destruct sequence, I believe it is. And as I said, this is one of my friend's ships, so we don't have our generic captain and we don't have our tokens with it, but we will get in and take a look at what is here, and we'll get right to it. We have our Romulan scout vessel dial, same one that we got with our previous scout vessel. And our Romulan scout vessel maneuver card. Extremely maneuverable ship. Lacking the 3 tight turns, but makes more than makes up for it with the 1 and 2 tight turns, as well as that white 2 come about, which is really nice. There we have our named R.I.S. Pi. 1 attack, 3 agility, 2 hull, 2 shield. Tech upgrade, a crew upgrade for 16 points. Evasive, scan, cloak, and sensor echo. And our ability is, during the activation phase, you may perform a scan action as a free action. If you do, place a power token beside your ship. So you can take scan as a normal action, or you can take it as a free action, as well as doing one of your others or one of your upgrades, and then you get that auxiliary power token. Kind of nice. Then we have our generic Romulan scout vessel. You lose 1 shield. You're losing your crew upgrade, so all you get is that 1 tech upgrade for 14 points. For captains, we have Bochra. Captain skill of 2, 1 point. If Bochra is assigned as the captain of a Romulan science vessel, during the combat phase, if there's a scan token beside your ship, you can roll +1 attack die and +1 defense die. And a nice combo with our named version of the ship here. Nice to see him as a captain instead of just a basic crewman as well. For our elite talent, we have Covert Mission, 5 points. This upgrade can be fielded by any captain. If the captain doesn't have an elite talent icon, this upgrade costs 1 extra point. During the end phase of each round, place 1 mission token on this card to a max of 3. As an action, you can discard this card to gain +1 attack die for each mission token on the card for your first attack this round. Basically let you build up counters on here, spend the action to get up to a +3 attack. Definitely useful in the right situations. 5 points is a bit steep. 6 if you're putting that on a captain who normally can't use an elite talent. But the fact that you can give a captain who normally can't have an elite talent this kind of is an interesting addition. And that extra +3 attack can really sway a battle in the right situation. So it's one of them that's hit or miss, but maybe worth it in the right situation. For crew upgrades, we have Patahk, 1 point. When attacking with your primary weapon, during the roll attack dice step, you may discard this card to gain +1 attack die for that attack. Another way to bump up the attack value, you can really make this thing do a decent alpha strike, similar to some other ships we've seen in the past. But really you want to use these on something that already has a decent attack value to really push it over that edge. Next we have Patahk, 5 points. As an action, you can discard this card to target a ship at range 3. Your ship cannot attack the target ship, and the target ship can't attack you this round. A 5-point discard and an action to prevent a ship from attacking you seems a little steep. There's other abilities and cards out there that let you prevent an attack. It's definitely a powerful ability, forcing someone not to shoot at you. But combined with the high cost of the card, plus the action, plus the fact it's limited to range 3, really makes it very situational, and I just think there's other options that are more worth it at that point. For tech upgrades, we have Distress Signal, 2 points. When defending, if there's a friendly ship within range 1 to 2 of your ship with a hull value greater than your ship, during the roll defense dice step, you can discard this card and roll +2 defense dice. No ship can be equipped with more than 1 distress signal. Kind of an interesting ability, mixed with other cards out there. I could definitely see this being used on something like a R.I.S bow that people use a lot for Dinatra's chariot to fly her around in. It gives you a +2 defense dice because pretty much every ship in your fleet's going to have a higher hull value. Yeah, it is a single use, which is kind of lame, but at the same time it's only 2 points, so it's not like you invested a lot in it. Next we have Graviton Field Generator for 2 points. When defending, if your ship is not cloaked during the deal damage step, you may discard this card to add 1 shield token. This shield token may not exceed your ship's starting shield value and is treated like a normal shield token. No ship can be equipped with more than 1 Graviton Field Generator upgrade. Basically giving yourself a extra shield for 2 points that you can use once one of your other shields is down. It's not spectacular, but at the same time, if your ship does take a hit and happens to lose its shields, you can no longer cloak. With this ability, you can throw back up 1 shield, and then you have the ability to cloak again from then on. Managed to find the missing card there. So for tech upgrades, we have self-destruct sequence. 3 points. As an action, destroy your ship and target every ship within range 1 of your ship. Each target suffers 1 damage. No ship can be equipped with more than 1 self-destruct sequence upgrade. If your ship's going to die anyway, at least this lets you inflict some damage. It's not an attack, so you don't get to roll defense against it. The drawback is that you're not only going to lose your ship, but it only has a range of 1, so you have to make sure they're right on top of you when it does go off. But interesting, it does take your action, but you're blowing up the ship, so it really doesn't matter what you're going to do for an action that turn. So it's interesting. The fact that it goes off on your action phase means that you can use your movement to get yourself in range of multiple ships and then trigger it. A couple different interesting things come to mind, but just keep in mind you're going to be losing a ship at the same time. If you're going to blow up anyway, though, why not? Our mission for this one is Covert Mission. It involves a Romulan scout basically sneaking in. Not too familiar with this one. You have 70 points of Romulans, including 1 scout vessel and 1 other Romulan ship, versus 50 points of Federation, including only 1 Federation ship. I have your layout there of what you're trying to do. Ships that get within a certain range of the planet start taking damage from electromagnetic storms. You have a mission here for the whole Covert Mission. And there's a section here about firing, and a section for the different success margins depending on the faction you're playing. Always nice to see new scenarios. That's one of the big things about Attack Wing, of the variety of different scenarios. I wish so many of them didn't resolve around specific ships, but each mission that comes with a ship pretty much pertains to that ship or the episode that ship's from, which is why they do that. Then we have our base for the named R.I.S. Pi. 90-degree front arc, no rear arc, but the ship has a decent amount of maneuverability, so it really doesn't need it. And there we have our generic Romulan scout vessel, again with the same front arc, no rear arc. The model itself is almost identical to the original that we got. The markings here on the front of the wing are just a hair lighter, and these are actually done darker through here. Doesn't really want to show up on the camera, but it is a slightly darker color than the rest of the wings. Other than that, they're almost identical to the original ships. You can kind of see the darker color on the feathered part of the wings there. But lots of little details on the ship that can definitely be brought out with a little bit of skill and a paintbrush. My friend's actually working on painting a lot of his ships, so maybe he'll get to these someday. But not an outstanding new model as we've seen with a lot of the recent ones, but definitely a lot of potential there. Overall, it's a decent expansion, nothing spectacular. I'm not a huge fan of the scout vessels to start with. The R.I.S. Vo was probably the best one out of them, just for its ability. But at the same time, they have their uses. Just not a huge fan of them. I'd rather take things like the Valdor class ships or the Hakuna, which just offers a lot more versatility. These pretty much end up being a support ship, and with the extremely limited amount of slots you have on them, you really can't even do that much with them as far as that goes. So Take them or leave them if you want them. It's another one of those, nothing spectacular or stands out in the pack that really makes me want to buy it. I'm not a huge fan of the smaller Romulan ships to begin with, but your mileage might vary depending on what you're looking for in a pack. As a Romulan player, sure, you're going to want one just for the collection, just to add the extra cards and options to your fleet builds. If you're not playing Romulans or you play cross-faction or whatever, I don't see anything too terribly important in here. It's probably one that you could skip. Anyway, that's it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one.